Lieutenant? They don't fucking say that, do they?
Lieutenant.
I have done a video on this before, but it was quite a while ago. Why do Americans say lieutenant, but British people sound like they add a V or an F and say lieutenant? This was a little tricky to find out for sure, but basically the word lieutenant comes from French lieu and tenant, which basically translated to placeholder. But some say that in lieu of, get it? In lieu of using lieu, the word comes from leuf, which kind of also meant place. So similar meaning from two different words, one lieu and one leuf. And for some reason, Americans picked up the lieutenant pronunciation and Brits picked up lieutenant pronunciation, even though we spell it lieu. I don't know which one of those two words the word actually comes from. It could be that it comes from lieutenant, but people thought it came from lieutenant, so they started pronouncing it that way, or some kind of mix or combination or confusion between the two that led to the different pronunciations. Now, why do we spell colonel with an L in the middle of the word, even though nobody pronounces that way, American, British, or otherwise? It came into English from French, where it was already with an R sound, colonel, and originally it was spelled with an R. But there was a time where people wanted to change the spelling of English words that came from Latin to be more like their Latin origins, and it comes from Latin columna, meaning column. So they added the L back into the writing, even though we never actually pronounced it in English. Which is another reason, I think, to switch alphabets, but that's neither here nor there. Throughout this whole video, please forgive my French pronunciations. I don't speak French. But that's why we spell colonel with an L, and that is probably why we have a difference between lieutenant and lieutenant across the pond.